Good morning. Welcome to the most recent edition of Liaison Library. This is Liaison Library 6, presented by the Pennsylvania One Call Damage Prevention Liaisons. Today we're going to be covering a couple different topics for project conception to construction. So that's everything you need from the very beginning of the planning stage all the way through to when you're actually ready to do that work. The first thing we're going to do today is we're going to kick off with a new video that we produced. It's actually called Project Conception to Construction. It'll give you a little bit of an idea of the checklist and the things that you want to do through each step of the process. So sit back, watch, enjoy the most recent Liaison Library.
Coordinate PA is the next generation of utility coordination. Otherwise known as CPA, it's a better approach to sharing projects online through a web-based and map-based secure repository. CPA enables users to add and/or import existing projects, find opportunities with others who want to coordinate, share project documents, and communications with designated contacts, and notify facility owners and other contacts at any stage of a project. Today, I'm going to discuss the process of CPA from conception to construction. We will go through the 3 stages of entering a ticket into CPA: planning, design, and construction. And with the help of some friends, show how our different stakeholders are involved. The first thing we need is a project.
I meet both of those qualifications. I'm a friend and I have a project for you.
Perfect. You get the role of the project owner. Tell me about the job.
We're planning to replace a water line that runs along the north side of Market Street in Camp Hill Borough. It's about 2.5 miles long and should take 6 months to complete construction. There's going to be a huge disruption with traffic, and the residents of the borough are not going to be happy while it's happening. It's important that we coordinate our effort with all stakeholders so that we cause minimal disruption.
That's a perfect example. To determine if a project is complex and should be entered into CPA, we use the acronym DISC. It stands for Duration, Impact, Size, and Complexity. Any project meeting one or more of these criteria may benefit from being entered into CPA and going through the process we're outlining today. Duration. How long will the excavators be on site? A day, a week, a month, a year? Impact. Will the work impact the public, facility owners' lines, traffic patterns, or cause other disruptions? Size. Is the project over 1,000 feet or intersection to intersection, whichever is greater? Complexity. Is this multiple sites? How complex is the work? Your job fits the description and should definitely be placed into CPA as a complex project. A complex project means an excavation that involves more work than properly can be described in a single locate request or any project designated as such by the excavator or facility owner as a consequence of its complexity or its potential to cause significant disruption to lines or facilities and the public, including excavations that require scheduling locates over an extended time frame.
By that definition, my job is a complex project.
Absolutely, and you're not going to believe all the benefits you get with CPA. Define projects with a tool inside a web browser. No special software is required. Document project records in a secure repository. Add, manage, and set permissions for project contacts. Share and communicate with other CPA users and facility owners receiving project tickets. Identify project collaboration opportunities. Save money for all parties. Improve the level of service to constituents. For a complex project, request meetings, use templates, and upload other documents and associate phase and construction tickets. Project status and updates in near real time. A common map base. With all of those benefits, you can see why there are more of our stakeholders using CPA every day. As I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to discuss the 3 stages of entering a ticket into CPA: planning, design, and construction. Let's begin with planning. Our first stakeholder is the project owner. Hello, project owner.
Hello again.
A project owner is any person who or which engages in excavation or construction or any other project which requires excavation or demolition work.
The first thing I need to do is define the project scope. This will tell us all the details that are needed to complete the job. So in my example, I told you that I was planning to build a waterline replacement job on Market Street in Camp Hill Borough. Once I know where the work is going to happen, I'm going to enter the entire scope of the project onto Coordinate PA. This is going to serve as a central hub for information, communication, and ticket placement for the 4 affected stakeholder groups: me as the project owner, my designer, my excavator, and the local underground facility owners. I also have the option to make my project public or private. If it's private, then only I can see it. If it's public, anybody in CPA can view it. I can change my project privacy whenever the need arises, but I want this project to be public. Hopefully, somebody else is planning work in areas that overlap, and we can work together. While we're here, let's take a look to see what other projects will be going on in Camp Hill Borough. If I see any other jobs on Market Street, then I'll have the opportunity to collaborate with them. For example, I see that the gas company will be working on the same street as me 3 months from now. I can contact the gas company to coordinate our jobs so that we can open up and then repair the road at the same times. When we all work together, we save significant amounts of both time and money. Now that the project is in CPA and I've checked for other projects to coordinate with, it's time to hire a designer and begin the design phase.
Hi, I'm the designer. Thanks for hiring me.
A designer means any architect, engineer, or other person who or which prepares a drawing for a construction or other project which requires excavation or demolition work.
Hi, designer. Let me add you as a contact of the project so you can do your thing. Because I created the project, my security role defaults to project administrator. Anytime an administrator adds somebody to the project, we can also select their security role. Designer, I'm going to make you a project administrator as well, so that you can make any changes, add any necessary contacts, and when we're ready for it, add the excavator to the project as well.
Thanks. As part of the design phase, I'll be using CPA to enter my design tickets, upload blueprints and SUE information, and communicate with facility owner design contacts. First, it's my job to submit a design ticket. There are 2 types of tickets depending on how soon the final design is to be completed. If the design request is more than 90 business days out, then I will be submitting a preliminary design ticket. This step is optional. The final design ticket, to be submitted 90 to 10 business days before the final design is to be completed, is required by law to request the line and facility information. This is when I'll send plans to the involved facility owners, allowing them to show where their lines intersect with my design. This can be done electronically through CPA. The facility owner will receive my plans and respond to them through Carl.
The information provided by the facility owners will help establish subsurface utility engineering levels C and D, which are existing records and visual above-ground indicators. For big projects like this one, we'll also be using quality levels B and A of SUE before any excavation occurs. Since that's a conversation that takes place between the designer and the project owner at the bid stage, I'll let my project owner talk more about it.
When a project costs $400,000 or more, we need to use sufficient quality levels of SUE. Regardless of the project budget, it's my job as a project owner to furnish that pertinent data obtained through SUE to the one-call system. We're going to upload that information directly to our CPA project. The American Society of Civil Engineers and the Common Ground Alliance provide standard of care guidelines the one-call law requires we follow. When applied properly during the design phase, subsurface utility engineering provides significant cost and damage avoidance benefits and the opportunity to correct inaccuracies in existing facility levels. In fact, a 2020 PennDOT study found that for every $1 spent on SUE, they saw a return on investment of $11.39. So regardless of the size and complexity of your project, SUE can be your best friend in controlling costs. The American Society of Civil Engineers has established 4 quality levels, ranging from least accurate to most accurate. Levels C and D, eyeballs in the field and paper records and maps, are ideal for the planning phase. During the preliminary design phase, we'll be using quality level B, field locating. This is where I'll bring in my own private locator to survey the work site. In our final design phase, we'll use level A, the most accurate standard of care. We'll be using soft excavation techniques like air vacuuming to create test holes, daylight those facilities, and determine their exact locations. SUE results are integrated into the design process, in which design engineers use the information to create construction plans that accommodate existing infrastructure, thereby reducing the overall risk of conflicts and/or damage.
Thanks for discussing SUE. The next step is to review the responses from the facility owners and make adjustments to the design in order to avoid unnecessary conflict.
While creating that design, it is my responsibility to do the following: to show on the drawing the position, type of each facility owner's lines, and the name of the facility owner, to show my one-call serial number and the one-call phone number on my drawing, to create a new design request of my final design if the scope or project site changes. That concludes the design phase. But before we can move on, the project owner needs to put the project to bid and select an excavator.
Thanks, designer. Let me get on that and, here's a good bid. Let's go with this excavator.
Sounds great. I'll add the excavator to the project so they can get on with the construction.
Hi, I'm the excavator. Thank you for adding me to the project.
An excavator means any person who or which performs excavation or demolition work for himself or for another person.
My first step in CPA is to submit a complex project ticket. A complex project ticket requires a 10 business day notice, and that ticket does not permit me to excavate. This ticket serves as notice to the affected facility owners that a potentially disruptive project is coming through and may require markouts and protections over an extended area or time frame. Complex project tickets are placed within the CBA project and allow the excavator to schedule a pre-construction meeting to review the project with facility owners.
Pre-construction meeting means a scheduled event held by the excavator, designer, project owner, and facility owner, or an agent of the excavator, designer, project owner, and facility owner prior to the commencement of excavation or demolition work in a complex project.
I need to indicate a time, date, and location for the pre-construction meeting. This location can be either in person or virtual, but the information I should be prepared to share is the same either way. Just like in a routine ticket, all of the affected facility owners will be notified. It is my job to invite all other stakeholders that are involved in this project, such as our project owner and designer friends. The facility owners are required to respond through Carl that they will be either attending the pre-construction meeting or that all of their facilities are clear of our work site. To prepare for the pre-construction meeting, I need to bring the following items: project plans, maps, a sign-in sheet to record attendees' names, companies' names and email addresses, and a way to record meeting notes and a markout schedule. The good news is there are a couple of templates that you can download from CPA to document attendance and notes. I want to make sure they're downloaded before the pre-construction meeting.
Now it's time to hold the meeting. There is a specific protocol that must be followed to conduct a successful meeting. All involved parties, including the designer, project owner, excavator, and facility owners, are required to attend the meeting. At the meeting, the parties shall agree upon their individual obligations consistent with the project. The entire scope of the project must be defined at the meeting. Details on phases should be defined as much as possible. Agreement on the scope of tickets will be left to the parties attending the pre-construction meeting. Updates to the project must be completed from within the CPA project. If a facility owner cannot agree to the proposed locate schedule, everyone must work to find a schedule that the one facility owner can agree to. If no agreement can be reached, the excavator must create single excavation notifications from within the project for the areas where the dissenting facility owner operates lines. If an involved party fails to attend the meeting, the excavator may proceed according to the agreement reached at the meeting. Meeting notes shall be taken by the excavator or facility owner calling the meeting. CPA provides a template for your use. The notes shall set forth the agreements made by the parties.
Now that the meeting is over, it is important to upload meeting notes and attendance into CPA so that all parties can access it. With the planning and agreements out of the way, we're almost ready to submit our routine notifications. Those are the ones that allow us to begin excavation between 3 and 10 business days after submitting. In the days between placing the ticket and our lawful start date, facility owners will dispatch their locators to mark lines in the work site. Remember, it is important to mark the work site out in white paint or flags so that the locators know where to mark their lines. Now it's time to create the routine notifications through CPA. I'm going to break up the work into several tickets and phases, which shall be consistent with the agreements reached at the pre-construction meeting.
Because my project is so large, I will be hiring a subcontractor to excavate too. I'll enter their name and info into CPA so that they have permission to enter their routine notifications. Remember, subcontractors can't dig off of my ticket. They'll need to place their own.
Then, when I submit the ticket, all of the affected facility owners will receive it and send their locators out to the site. Once the site is marked, the facility owners will respond through Carl. I will review those responses and head out to document the worksite before beginning excavation. If all of the utilities have been marked, I may proceed with the work on my lawful start date. I'll come back to CPA to submit update tickets as needed or agreed upon to have sections of the worksite remarked. If information required from the facility owner cannot be provided and my crew needs to ascertain the precise location of any active, abandoned, or unclaimed line, we'll need to use prudent techniques like hand-dug test holes and vacuum excavation to expose those lines. I need to notify the project owner of this extra work in writing. We're entitled to compensation for that. After the work is complete, the project owner may install color-coded permanent markers.
What a great idea! With permanent markers, I won't have to spend time or money locating my new facilities during future projects. The marks are already there.
And that's the process end to end for using CPA to place your complex projects from conception to construction. Thank you all for your help today, stakeholders. If you need any help, you can call any one of the damage prevention liaisons to help you out. In fact, they will attend your pre-construction meeting if possible to make sure everything runs smoothly. You can find the damage prevention liaison in your area and their contact information at pa1call.org/liaisons.
All right. So everybody, while that video was going on, I saw a couple more people trickle in. Just thought I'd cover some of our initial bases again. Hello, welcome to Liaison Library. This is episode 6, Project Conception to Construction. We do one of these every few months or so, so the next one's going to be out in May. I'll give you more information on that near the end of this. My name's Greg Danks. I'm the Philadelphia area liaison for Pennsylvania One Call. We have liaisons spread out all across the state, so no matter what county you're doing work in, you do have a liaison that's local to you. As we're going through and we're touching on things, the entire concept today is talking about things that you want to do from the project's conception all the way up to that point of construction. So we're going to be talking about all the different sort of planning things that you might want to be considering before your actual digging begins. If you have any questions while this is going on, submit those questions to the Q&A tab. We'll be monitoring them. We're going to answer them after each section. So any questions that you have, please put in there. We're happy to answer them. The next one that we have up is I'm going to turn this over to Ryan Parrish. Ryan is our Lehigh Valley area liaison. So if you're in the Allentown area, Bethlehem, you may already know Ryan. Ryan's going to go over the initial project entry into Coordinate PA. Brian, take it away.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. As Greg mentioned, my name is Ryan Parrish. I am one of the Southeast liaisons. I cover Berks, Lehigh, Northampton, Schuylkill, and Lebanon. So if you need anything one call wise, don't hesitate to give me a call. But this is our Coordinate PA page. As Greg mentioned, I'm going to tell you guys how to enter a project in Coordinate PA. And we always want to verify our information before we go into Coordinate PA. And if our information is correct, we can update our information. So you want to check the box to confirm that we are who we say we are. And we're getting directed to our Coordinate PA dashboard. At Coordinate PA, it's our own unique custom created platform. Honestly, I tell people the expression, have you ever heard the expression, there aren't enough O's in the word smooth? That's directed about Coordinate PA. Coordinate PA, it's smooth, it's efficient. It's the next level of utility coordination. And I'm going to show you how smooth and efficient it is to enter a project right now. So this, like I mentioned, this is our Coordinate PA dashboard. We can see that a list of projects come up down here of the projects in the surrounding area. If we wanted to search for more projects, we can click on the search as I move the map, and we'll be able to search around and see projects that are in the area as well. When I logged into the Coordinate PA dashboard, it brought me to Boardtown Borough. That's because I have my home extent set that way. So every time I come into Coordinate PA, it gets me to exactly where I'm usually going to be working in. And we can set our home extent by clicking on that set button right next to the home button on the left side of the CPA dashboard. So if we want to change our home extent, we can just search by county, or I know some areas have several utility coordinating committees like Erie. So if you want to search by utility coordinating committee, you can do that also. And then whatever county that we're in, we want to search by county. I like to use Berks, and I'll use Boardtown Borough and update my extent. So every time I get into the CPA dashboard, it will bring me to my exact location that I like to work in. As you see up in the dashboard, you can import your XML files if you don't want to use the polygon tool to draw your site. And you can also import shape files. You can also import moratoriums. And this is our add project button, which I'm going to be clicking on that shortly to show you how easy it is and how smooth it is to enter a project. And we also have our legend. And if we just highlight over the legend, it shows exactly what we're going to be clicking into. This shows the different facility colors used in the project boundaries. And it's going to have all those facility colors. We can also change the layer if we want to add a railroad, or we want to take railroads away because they're obstructing us when we're trying to draw the project, or we like to have the railroad there just so we have see what's in the area for reference. We can click on the add layers if that's something that we feel that's going to be useful for us. There's also map info when we can click on a specific point and get specific information about that point. And we also can search our projects. We can search by the project name, project ID, or the ticket serial number. There's all different ways for you to search your project. You can search my projects, or you can search all the projects. Again, and there's just different filters for you to be able to find your project easier. You can include active, ones with final designs, ones with phases. They're just all different ways to search your project. And you also can change your base maps. You have the OpenStreetMap, you have the Esri Imagery Map, or the Esri National Geographic Map. Or like our customer service representatives use, we have the POX base map. I like to filter between several maps. As you see in this area, what could potentially maybe be an open field. If you switch that base map to the Esri imagery, you can also see that this is not as open as you think it was. There's actually a little baseball stadium right here. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're drawing your dig site or entering your project. So now if we want to enter a project, we can just go to add project. And again, we just want to get this project in. It could be maybe we're not going to be starting this job for another 2 years, but we want to get this project in to increase our chance of coordination and collaboration. We can do that within CPA. So we want to click on design and create a ticket. And then we want to start, we can draw a project boundary or we can import our project boundary. But I'm going to put the information in first before we start drawing. And we want to have our project name. So we're just going to be repairing something. We can put Town Sewer Repair. And whoever the project owner is. In the status, this is just planning because we just want to get this project in Coordinate PA. This project may not be starting until a year, 2 years from now. Again, we just want to get this footprint in so we can have the project ready to go when we need to pass it along to the designers. And what the work type is, what are we going to be doing? If you're ever confused about what the fields are, you can highlight over it and they will tell you specifically what you need to add. So we have the work type, and what we're going to do, we're going to be repairing broken sewer line. And then we just want to click on what facility type we have. If we can do sewer service lines. And we want to put in our dates. Again, these are just kind of estimations because this project is going to be 2 years from now. When we kick this to our designer can come in if we have the proper security role and they can make changes to the project. And I'll explain that in a second. But we want to get our final design stage, what we think it's going to be. So we could have our final designs. We'll say our final design is going to be January, and this is going to be in 2024. So we can make it January 24th. And this project is going to end. Again, this is just an estimation. We can go back in once we get closer to 2024 and we can refine these numbers. And it's going to end to February 5th. And that's our design. And we can have, or we'll change our designs. Let's make our designs a little earlier. So we'll make our designs January 15th in 2024 to January 19th. Again, this is just estimations. You're going to have your exact dates when you do this, when you get closer to the date. And when our proposed bid date's going to be. We can put it, again, it's going to be in 2024. It's going to be in January. And we can put January 22nd. And when our planned construction dates are. And this will do January 24th to February 5th. And now if we make this job public, if we click on this make project public, this will let all the contacts and facility owners notified about this specific project. They'll be able to see changes that they're able to see this project if you're a facility owner or a project contact. If you click on make this project visible to everyone who has access to CPA searching jobs will be able to see your project. So this will increase your chance for coordination if you have a job that's overlapping another project owner's job. And I'll explain that too also. Again, if you need to add a project contact, if you want to add a designer, when that project goes to design phase 2 years from now, if you want that project designer to be able to make necessary changes, you can adjust his security role, and I'll show you how to do that here. So we want to add our project contact. And if he's not in here, we can create a new contact. If we want to make sure we have his name. If it has an asterisk, you need to put that information in there. And whatever his work phone is. And his email. And again, if you want to change his subscription status, you can do that. If you want him to receive all communication so he's on top of it, you can do that as well. If you want to change his security role to a project administrator, project editor, or communications only, we want to make him a project administrator so he can make the necessary changes to the project when it gets down to his time to do that. And you can click the view detail before the ticket's issued. So if this is private, you can have him click on this and he'll be able to see the ticket issue before you issue it. So now we have our project contact in here. Again, if you're not sure about what security roles, you can click on this icon right up here, and this will bring up a help screen. This is our handbook for CPA. This will explain all the security roles and all the information about all the fields in Coordinate PA will have descriptions. So if you ever get confused or lost, you can click on this help screen, and this will have all the information you need to keep your project going in Coordinate PA. So now we have our project saved. Oh, we want to draw our project also. So this is our mapping tool. This is where we draw our projects. If we're not going to import our boundary, we can start drawing, and I'll show you how to do that. With Coordinate PA, you have a limited amount of points to draw your project, so you can home in specifically where you want to. I'll show you how to do that. You can just click and you get multiple points, and you just want to show exactly where you're going to be working at. We're going to be working along East Philadelphia Ave. And again, with the multiple points, it allows you to get specifically exactly where you're trying to work at, and you can home into the exact location. Right, and that's how easy it is to draw your boundary. You want to save your project. Now this is actually when to create a ticket. We're not creating a ticket yet because we just want to get this project in Coordinate PA. Again, this project isn't happening until 2 years from now. Give it a second to load. Again, we're on a test server, so it takes a little bit longer. So now we have our project. We can remind it of who our project owner is. And we just want to verify our information to make sure everything is how we put it in and we're good to go. This is also where you upload any project documents that you have. If you have any SU documents, you can upload that here. If you have any of the templates that we mentioned in the video, the complex project meeting notes, you can get that also right here, and you can upload that information in this section. So now that our project is saved, we can return to the dashboard. And now there's a chance that our project is overlapping to other projects. So we can look at the dates of when these projects are. It looks like this project is going to start February 7th and our project ends on February 5th. So maybe we need to have a conversation with these project owners. We can click on their information. We can get their email address and have that conversation. Hey, my project is going to start right around when yours is finishing. Is there an opportunity for you to move your project up since I have this road open? So it happens far too often that the road, somebody's doing excavation work, they open the road and they pave it just for 2 weeks later, somebody can come down and reopen the road. So it's a waste of money. So hopefully when you see this, you'll be able to get the project owner's information and reach out to this project owner and coordinate and collaborate. Hey, can you move this project up? Won't you get in the road when I have it open? And then we can share the costs on restoring that road. You know, this is a heavily congested school area. Maybe we're going to have to hire flagger force. Maybe we can split the cost on flagger force. This is all the conversations that you can have with the project owner just from getting his information in CPA. So that's the gist of how to enter a project in Coordinate PA. And if you have any questions at all, just feel free to type in the chat box, or after this, you can always give one of the liaisons a call. We can help you. And I will kick this back to you, Greg.
Thanks, Ryan. We actually do have 2 questions that came in while your presentation was going. So the first question that we have for you is, what if there is no bid?
What is there is no bid? Let me check.
Right. So when you're and I'm springing this on Ryan. He was doing the presentation. I had a little bit of time to think about this. When you're filling out the project in Coordinate PA, bid date is one of the things that you're required to put in. It has the asterisk next to it. If there's no bid, if it's some kind of internal thing, then you can always pass it. You can always make it the date that you anticipate the construction is going to start. You can make it the date that you should be finished the final design. That bid date you can always go back and change later. So if you don't have a set bid date, just put in an estimate of about when you think the work is going to start, and we can always go back and adjust that. Ryan, I am going to hit you with this other question that we have here, though. Could we recap the difference between making a project public and making it visible to all?
Yep, when you're making your public visible, you're just making it visible to the people associated with the ticket, facility owners, anybody directly involved in that project. When you're making it visible to all, that's everyone that is inside CPA. So anybody who's just scrolling around CPA looking for random projects, they'll be able to see that your project is in there. Does that make sense, Greg?
That makes perfect sense to me. Thank you. So basically, if you want to make a project public, you want the people that are going to be in the area to be able to see it. If you want it visible to all, then you want other excavators, designers, project owners to be able to see that project and potentially collaborate with you. All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. Remember, anybody, if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. We will address them after each section. Now, the next one that we have up is we are bringing in our guest speaker. The one-call liaisons know the one-call law. We are there to help you. We're there to do all sorts of things, but we're not experts in everything. So for today, we brought in Corey Heller from SAM, and he's going to give us a presentation on subsurface utility engineering. Thanks for joining us, Corey.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning, everyone that's watching this. As Greg pointed out, I'm going to start up a presentation here to let everyone know about subsurface utility engineering. So just a little introduction. Corey Heller, I'm the project manager here at SAMS. We're a full service geospatial firm. Not only do we offer subsurface utility engineering, but SAM does offer a wide variety of services elsewhere as well. So to start into it with Sue, I just want to let everyone know, one of our basic things is we always tell everyone, you know, Sue isn't always conformed to one sector or one market. You know, everyone in this industry that deals with underground utilities, if they're calling in a one-call ticket, you know, they can utilize Sue to help save them money on projects. I thought it was great in the video that they showed before. PennDOT did just recently do a study where it was about $11 they saved every $1 spent on Sue. It's a great cost-saving service that people offer, and I hope everyone can take the opportunity to use it and save money. So as everyone knows, as you're digging through the ground, you're going to run into utility problems. You know, between underground utilities that are active, abandoned, private, you know, maybe not put on records or anything like that, it becomes a very big problem when someone's going in there and they're trying to replace a water line, replace a gas line, you know, any kind of service that they're doing to the utility that's underground. Right now, this is these numbers might be a little old already because, as we know, everyone's putting in more and more pipe in the ground. But about 20 million miles of underground utilities exist in the US right now, which is a very large number. Pretty much everywhere you dig, you're most likely going to encounter an underground utility. More utilities, like I said, are being installed every day. So as we keep growing, there's going to be more utilities that are installed. So right now, the usual in the project developments, in the planning stage, final design, anything like that. Right now, most people only record the underground utilities either through record data. Maybe they do call in a one call and some field marks were put down. They record those. Some people do use exploratory trenching to try to find out where those utilities are. And, you know, some people just utilize the QLD and QLC, quality level C and quality level D. With that being said, though, Sue could offer so much more that'll give you guys more accurate information that is going to save money in the long run when it goes to construction. And just to go into it a little bit more, subsurface utility engineering has a standard guideline. It is the ASC 38-02. They explain all the services and all the quality levels that could be offered with each. This book is available online too for download for anyone who is interested in it. So to start with it, quality level D This is more like of your as-built records that you're going to obtain from utility owners, any boroughs, anything like that. These records, as they could be very accurate, as you can see on this slide right here, where they give hand pull ties, size, material type, or they could actually be records, that aren't the best. Believe it or not, this record is actually something that we received from someone before. So the records, depending on how good they are, is going to give you the quality of information. As you can see from this slide, the record was just hand drawn on by someone. So this isn't accurate to exactly where that water line could be. And when you're going in and you're doing your planning and design process, you're trying to design around, the water line, or if you're hooking up to that water, you're trying to find out exactly where it is. This record's not really going to help you the best. It's going to be there. It's going to give you an idea that, hey, there is a water line there. But as far as for your actual design or even going to construction, this isn't going to be the best quality information you can get. Now, as going through the quality levels, though, you can step it up and go to quality level C, which this indicates that you're going to take those same records that you received for quality level D, and then you're going to do survey out in the field. You're going to survey in structures as far as water valves, manholes, fire hydrants, gas valves, markers that could be visible. And then you're going to use those records and try to line that stuff up. With doing that, you're going to get a little bit more accuracy of where the lines are. That way you can, again, design or construct around those underground utilities. But it doesn't always account for the change in the direction of the line. And what I mean by that is going into the next quality level. When you get to quality level B, this is the most preferred method of SUE that I would ever recommend. This gets you the idea, gives you the picture of our crews will go out in the field. They will take geophysical equipment and they will put signals onto all the underground utilities, and they'll physically designate it out on the surface to connect everything between structures, valves, hydrants, anything like that. But it also will be surveyed in with survey grade accuracy. So then you can import that into your plans to show a better idea of exactly where the horizontal location of this line is. And the way that this gets a little bit better than quality level C is because when you do this, you find out if there's any twists or turns or, any unforeseen 90s, 45s in your underground utilities. Because as we know, when we go to construction, a lot of times, contractors, they will run into issues in the field. And instead of, documenting everything, they might, hey, we ran into a huge boulder at this location, so we took the gas line out around it. Or, hey, we ran into that same boulder, so we took the water line underneath or around it. And there's slight jogs in it that might not match the record of what the utility owner requested for it to be put in. So with that being said, the quality level B is a major step up for you to accurately map those utilities to see whether or not you're going to have issues like that. This, like I said, is one of the preferred methods I would always use. I think you're always going to find the best cost savings in quality level B information. You will be able to, like I said, utilize this to design around a lot of things, make sure that utilities will not be in the way. Also, the QLB time, you're going to be able to find out if there may be abandoned utilities in the area, maybe private utilities. Not everyone always accounts for that. And when you call in a PA1 call, which they do a great job of, they try to mitigate and try to let you know if there's stuff there. But a lot of times, people are not contacted if they have a private sewer line that left the main line. They might have a private sanitary force main that, that's not contracted out by them to be located, but we would be able to locate for you and let you know that is there. Same thing, especially in urban areas. You find out there's a lot of street lighting, a lot of private lighting for people that they have at their houses. They're all still underground utilities that you want to be aware of and that you don't want to hit. Because at the end of the day, that's one of the biggest things that we're here for is damage prevention. So that way we do not hit utilities. So quality level B is a great way to find those unforeseen utilities. As you keep moving up then through the quality levels, you will start to run into issues where, hey, maybe quality level B is not enough. In quality level B, we only are going to be able to provide the horizontal position of that utility. Well, what if it is electric duct or a telephone duct? Hey, how wide is it? How big is it? You don't know those questions. That's where, in addition to quality level B, you keep going through the quality levels to quality level A. This is the test holes where you will actually physically expose the utility. This is great for, like I said, with electric ducts, telephone ducts, that sort of thing. Let's confirm, hey, how big is this? How deep is it? All that kind of stuff. This utilizes a technology, vacuum excavation, to give you that kind of information so you have it for your design. Or, hey, you need that for your construction too as well. So this gives you that information. The other great thing about this is it goes out there and confirms also what you might have in the ground. I know a lot of water companies, gas companies, sometimes they go out there, they're like, hey, we're going to replace this 4-inch steel gas line or 4-inch water line. Well, we go out there, we might, do a quality level A test hole on it to confirm that. But when we do, we find out that it's really a 6-inch line. So the quality level A is a great tool to utilize as well for confirming what you have in the ground currently. A lot of times, like I said, when construction goes to happen, you might not know exactly what's there. So as I was kind of going through and everything, it was a great point out in the video this morning that we saw there. The risk is assessed as you go through the quality levels. As you can see from this graph and everything, as you start out at quality level D and work your way to quality level A, you will see a significant risk elimination. That's the number one thing that we try to do here, especially with Pennsylvania One Call. We're trying to damage the risk of anything happening to utilities. So as you move up through the quality levels, your risk will be lowered. So I like to put this slide up here. As you can see, it points out what kind of stage you should be using SUE in. This is not always, hey, this is exactly what you got to do. This is just more of a guideline of what most people we see use it as. In the planning stage, that's still your general quality level D and C. A lot of people put their stuff on per record, maybe have the survey crews pick up some valves and stuff like that to help them align it. But really in the design stage is where you want to get that QLB information. Like I said, that's going to help you mitigate if, hey, does the record exactly match what's out in the field? Is there anything we can do, to maybe design around these utilities, that kind of thing. Again, in the design stage, that's when you also want to utilize the QLA. This is going to help you, maybe get those depths that you need. One of the other things I do want to bring up is if you're boring, if you're boring underneath a road, you might utilize this QLA in the design stage to make sure that, hey, you get that information to the borers that they have to go under or go above certain depths. So that way they don't run into any utilities. And then in the construction stage, I know a lot of people don't think of SUE still. You still always have to call on your PA One Call. That'll never change. But you could also call us back in and we can come back out and remark some of the stuff we do. Again, my point to that would be, the private utilities. If there's a private utility that's owned by a certain person or something like that, Pennsylvania One Call won't have that marked out. So that's where we could step in and help you guys out, mitigate that risk and mark out private utilities. Just as an example here, I like showing everyone, as you can see on the screen here, this is an example of what we generally have for a deliverable. This is quality level B information. As you can see on there, it's your plan set usually of what the design team is designing for, and then we can overlay all the utilities that we found and document it and give back to you guys. That way you can line it up with your design and hopefully design around any utility hits or something. This is an example of our QLA form. And as you can see on here, it gives you all the information that you're going to need as far as depth of cover. We do utilize a lot of picture taking as well. We like to document everything so that way you have an understanding of what's there. This also, again, is a great one for confirming what is in the ground. Again, if you're having a project where you're tying into a water, gas, sewer, anything like that, you want to make sure that you're tying into the correct utility that they want. So this is also going to confirm those sizes, material type, anything like that for you. And that was it for me. I hope everyone enjoyed that information on Sue. If there is any more questions, I'd definitely be happy to answer them. And if you ever need any more information, feel free to always contact us here at SAM, or there is other supervisors out there. I'm sure they'd be happy to help with you.
Thanks, Corey. We did get a question in there, and I think you and I are just going to tag team this a little bit because it has a little bit to do with what you're doing and a little bit to do with what we're doing. There's a question that came in, said, is a ticket required for quality level A soft dig to locate a utility? Now, I will say in the one call law, you are required to place a ticket with us when you're using powered equipment to disturb the earth. There is an exemption in there for soft digging if you're using vacuum excavation, water excavation. However, the safest thing to do is to place that ticket. You can still damage underground facilities with soft excavation techniques or with a shovel or a pickaxe. So we're always gonna recommend that you make that call. The other wrinkle that I'd throw in that is if you're doing subsurface utility engineering at a site, by the time you're using that quality level A to soft dig to find those utilities, you've probably already placed a ticket to help with your quality level D. So is it required if you're using soft excavation techniques? It may not be, but we are going to recommend it. You've already placed a ticket there. It wouldn't hurt anybody to place another ticket when you're actually going to do that excavation. And if you get out there and you find out that, oh, we have to use a jackhammer to break the concrete to get underneath. Well, now you're using powered equipment. So even though you thought you may have been exempted, at the end of the day, you show up at the site and you realize, oh, I actually have to do something, which means I need to call, and now you have to wait 3 days.
Greg, I think.
Yeah, and Sam, I just wanted to get a little bit from you on that about when, sort of the time frame that you tend to experience between the start of subsurface utility when you're talking QLD, QLC, to when you get to QLA.
Yeah, I can explain that. I just wanted to jump in a little bit on the vacuum excavation, whether or not a one call should be called in. We've been providing SUE now for, our company was founded in 1994, so we've been providing SUE now for a long time. We call in a one call every time we use our vacuum truck. We do not think that we're exempt, only because, just like you said, you do run into instances where you use outside power tools that will then make you have to have the one call in. So we always do it that we always call on a Pennsylvania one call anytime we dig in the dirt. Now, to allude more to that, as far as for the planning stages there, I see that QLD and QLC will be used in your preliminary design. You want to get an understanding of what your project's going to have, get an idea of what's there as far as what utility owners respond to your design ticket and that kind of thing. You really want to start using QLB in the actual design stage. As I said before, I've had many of times where people went to the design stage, we went out, we did our QLB, and they found out that, hey, that water line that we thought was only 5 feet from the curb, it ended up being 10 feet from the curb, and now that's exactly where we planned on having the water. So before their final design came in, they were able to correct that and design around that, and that helped them save a lot of money. As far as for the QLA, I believe that gets more done in the final design. After they align everything, you're going to utilize that QLA to check elevations of utilities, where you guys want to tie in. Also, like I said, bringing up the question, hey, are we boring or anything like that? They want to maybe use that QLA to find the exact elevation, whether or not they have to go underneath it and stuff. And then again, we always can be utilized in the construction side as well. I always like to say, I think you should use us before construction. That way, going to construction, you don't have, any unforeseen questions that you're going to need answered.
Thank you, Corey. We did have one other question come up that actually calls back to Ryan's presentation on Coordinate PA. The question was, what is the criteria for entering info into Coordinate PA? Is it all complex one calls or anything else? Now, for Coordinate PA, if you're putting in a complex project ticket, you're required to use Coordinate PA. However, that platform will allow you to put in tickets for any sort of project. So if you're just planning, if you're just putting the design phase in, you can always put that in Coordinate PA. If you're just doing work at the corner of 2nd and Market, and you're just doing work right there, and you would normally call that in as a routine ticket, you can still put that in Coordinate PA. And when you do that, you're letting people know, hey, this work is coming. We might want to work together. You should be aware this is happening. So there is no low bar threshold for what can be entered in Coordinate PA. Anything can. If you're putting in anything that has a complex project and a pre-construction meeting attached to it, and we'll talk about pre-construction meetings in just a little bit, then you would be required to put it in CPA, but any type of project can go in there. Now we'll move on to the next one. Just remember, any questions you have, put them in the Q&A. Even if we have gotten past that section, we'll come back and we will readdress it. The next one that we have up is we're going to be talking to Jim Reynolds. He's down here in the southeast corner of the state with me. For a lot of these, you're talking about putting in your design tickets, your pre-construction tickets, your complex tickets, your routine tickets, all these different levels, and you may need a way to track the tickets that you're placing in. Jim's going to give us a brief overview of one of the online applications that we offer. It's free. It's there for your use. Let us know if you need it. It's called Online Ticket Management. Jim, it's all yours.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that nice introduction. Let's get into what online ticket management is. It has been developed to replace the facility owner and the excavator designer member web access applications. So whether you are a facility owner or an excavator, this is where you are going to go to get any information on one call tickets that either you have placed as the excavator or that have been received by the facility owner that they need to go out and mark for the excavator. We'll go over the facility owners tab right now. As you can see, if you are a single CDC code, when you go log into online ticket management, it will pre-populate your current CDC code. If you have multiple, if you're a big company and you have multiple CDCs, in the drop down, it will give you a list of all the CDCs that you are responsible for. Then also over here, it gives you your information on who you logged in as, what your company name is, the access type, what your authorization is to work in the site, and the current date that you are in. Along the top here is the toolbar. It gives you access to do multiple things for your daily work, such as looking at your deliveries. So once you would click the deliveries, and again, we are working in a site, sometimes it takes a little longer. For this tool here, you have the option of selecting your CDC. You have a date range that you can look for. It in one call, we save all of the data that has been submitted for 5 years. You are able to go through and select from the calendar what date range you want to use. And in this tool, the good thing about this one now is you can look at a full year's worth of tickets that were delivered and also how the responses came in. Again, deliveries, it shows you here what has been delivered to you. In this area here, you can look at the ticket, review it to see if you have any facilities in the area. You would review it, and then if you determine that you do, then you would go out and mark. So to view the ticket, there are two different ways. One is by clicking the paper over here, or the ticket serial number. That will take you to the same place for the viewing the ticket. You also have the tool here to get clicks that shows you the map of where the excavator has said that they are planning on digging. Also, you can respond to the ticket through this application, depending on what your response is. Also, you can respond with notes that will actually go back to the excavator if you have any information that might help them, such as maybe, yes, there is an abandoned line in this area, since in the law you are now required to mark or tell excavators that you have facilities that are abandoned in the area. Delivery totals. It gives you from the date range that is selected here, how many tickets you have received. If you are a member mapping participant, then if you use the one-call system to look for permits applications that may have been missed, you can select exclusions, and that will show you anything that was outside of where you said you have facilities. And then you can just click on the end to review any return to the toolbar. Responses, you can look at the detailed responses. So not that these people have not responded. Hopefully everyone realizes that you do have to respond to all the notifications that you received. And then you can do detail or a summary that just gives you a brief overview. And then you can also export this to an Excel file for your ability. And again, over here is where you would close the window to go back to your toolbar. Messages, this tab here gives you system broadcast and end of day reports. End of day reports are very important, especially for companies that are using WebView, so that if you do not see, if you're seeing or not seeing a ticket that is listed on the end of day report, you would really want to get a hold of our member services department right away, just to find out what's going on. And then over here you have reports that you can bring up just to run different reports. If you are responding to your tickets, it shows the first 5 tickets that you have received and not responded to. If you click the double arrows here, it gives you the ability to see all of the tickets that have been received requiring a response. You can also change the size of the page so that you can see more tickets than just 10 at a time. Again, you can view the ticket here. You can view the map of it. If you click here, you can view the ticket again, and you can also respond right through that area there. These are the tickets that you last responded to in this widget, and you're able to see what the responses were for that particular ticket for all CDC codes within that ticket area. And then if you have any pending deliveries, they would be listed here. For the facility owners, now you have tickets nearby, and you have the option to scroll in or scroll out. Wherever you are, it's good to set your home page or home extent right there. You can also move the map around to see if there are any tickets in the area. One of the other features is you can expand it so that you can see everything in the area. Red dots mean it's an emergency, and blue dots is it is just a routine ticket. You click on the dot, you're able to pull up the delivered notification, the map, and any responses to that notification. Again, on the deliveries, you do have the option of exporting it and also doing a search of a specific time frame. For the excavator, this is what they would see, the tickets that they have submitted. And again, this is just the ticket view, the map view, and you can get the ticket view either here or here. And you can pick up your responses right here. And again, like I said earlier, all facility owners are required to post a final response by the response due date. The excavator can also look at all the tickets that he has or he or she has submitted, and it would get a list of the ones from 1/1/2022 to the end of January 31st. You can filter by action types, whether you want to just see specific tickets. So you can pick that, the request type, maybe you just want to look at damage tickets in the area, and the request class, whether it was a routine, maybe a complex project needing ticket you are looking for. You can also do it by county, select it all the way down to the municipalities, and if it's in an area where there are wards, you can break it down from there. We'll go back. You can check the responses by serial number. If you know the serial number, you are able to pick that up right there. If you know it, you can put it in. For the excavator, it goes off of the phone number that you have provided to the one-call system on what you are looking for. And then you can view any tickets that are coming up or that the next lawful start date. And then recent responses from the facility owners. Again, you can look at the ticket. You can look at the serial or the map and view the responses right from this page in online ticket management. That is a brief overview of online ticket management. Should you have any questions, you can contact your local liaison and get more information on it. It is a very nice tool to use. So if you have any questions, please let us know.
Jim, thank you for that. We do have 3 questions for you. The first one that I'm going to throw to you is somebody asked, what is a CDC?
A CDC is the call directing code. It identifies your company to know what tickets you're going to get. So it's called directing code. Each individual facility owner has their own CDC code.
Thanks, Jim. And they're typically 3 letters. They could be 2 letters. They could be 2 letters and a number. But when you are receiving those tickets as a facility owner, you'll see at the bottom of the ticket all of the different call directing codes that ticket went to. That means that those facility owners have told Pennsylvania One Call that they have underground lines in that municipality. Jim, I have 2 more for you. We were asked, what exactly is the end of day report?
The end of day report, what that does is it gives you a list of all the tickets that you have received during that 24-hour period from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. So if you go over the end of day report and you are seeing discrepancies in there, on maybe I did not see this ticket, but it's listed on my end of day report. Again, that's where you're going to want to go through, get a hold of member services to figure out if there was an issue.
That's a great point. You don't want to miss any of the tickets coming through because you don't know the one that you missed that you have something right underneath. The last question here, I'll actually take this myself. The question is, why isn't there a tab for the designer in the online ticket management system, only owner and excavator? So there are 2 different tabs at the top that you can toggle between. One is for the facility owner. They're the people that own the lines. And that's based on the CDC. That's based on their call directing code. That's where they can find all of the tickets that they have received as a facility owner. The other tab is for anybody who is placing tickets. And that's going to filter that out by your phone number. So whether you're an excavator or a designer or a project owner, if you're placing tickets, you will be able to go in and find them because your account is going to be associated with the phone number. So even though that tab, you may think that's only for excavators and excavation tickets, you designers can also find your design tickets under that same tab.
And Greg, also on that, when a design ticket does come in, it is listed as an excavation.
That's correct. It does say excavation at the top, but it'll say design. But just I want to make sure that you know that when you're placing tickets, anybody placing any type of ticket, you will be able to track that through online ticket management. It's not just for excavators. Thank you, Jim. Just a reminder, if you guys have any questions, put them in the Q&A. We will come back and answer them. I'm going to kick it up to the northeast part of the state now. We have Maria White, our damage prevention liaison up there. And Maria is going to cover the pre-construction meetings, sort of things you want to bring, the things you want to be prepared for, what sort of things happen there. Maria, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Greg. So far, the show's been excellent. I hope that you're all alive and awake, ready to hear more about pre-construction meetings. So I do have the 10 counties in the Northeast. You can reach out to me anytime or any of my coworkers. So pre-construction meetings, coordinating, communicating, cooperating, and collaborating with each other. So we all go to lots of meetings all day long. This particular meeting is the one that you like to have right before construction to get together with your facility owners to set your locate schedules and to talk about the flow of your construction so that you can put your tickets in a meaningful way for the locating community. So who can schedule these meetings? The project owner or the excavator can schedule the pre-construction meetings. And of course, this is going to be through Coordinate PA, which we've mentioned earlier in the program. You'll want to confirm that your complex project ticket was placed no more than 10 business days. No less than 10 business days before construction. So if you have a tight construction start date and you've put in your complex project 10 days before construction, you're going to want to keep track. If you need to get started on that 10th day, you're going to want to have your pre-construction meeting at least 7 days before the 10th business day. So you're holding this meeting 3 to 10 business days before construction. Ideally, if you get it done by the 7th day, you can start to put your notifications in and begin your construction on that 10th business day. Again, you put your projects into Coordinate PA, and you'll want to think ahead before you put your project in. Try to find a safe place where you'll be able to pull together all of these people in their trucks and cars, a safe place to pull, maybe a parking lot somewhere. If you are using a parking lot, if it's a grocery store or a veterinary clinic, you might want to give them a call and let them know you're going to use the area so that you're not doing any type of trespassing. And then you'll be ready to create your project meeting notification. So the project owner or excavator establishes the date, time, and place of the meeting. And you can also do electronic meetings. I know we're still doing a lot of that. And then you'll want to make sure you invite all stakeholders, all of the stakeholder groups, project owners, designers, excavators, and facility owners. And then sometimes their agents will come instead. Like you might have a locating company contractor show up for one of the facility owners. So if the project owner creates the pre-construction meeting in Coordinate PA, then they're the ones responsible to notify the excavator. And likewise, if the excavator creates the pre-construction meeting, then they will be responsible for notifying the project owner and the designer for the meeting. So just a little bit more about that. We saw earlier in the program, Ryan showed us where you can put contacts into your meetings. One thing you'll notice is that the PA1 call liaisons are not going to be listed in your contacts because those are going to be all of the people that are the primary receivers for the facility owners. So if you need someone else to come to the meeting, you'll want to add them as a contact, or you can contact your local liaison if you want them to come to that meeting. And then we also receive an email each day. The liaisons have an email that we can check to see what meetings are coming up. So we try to reach out to you or come to those meetings in person and assist if you need us. So here's something important. The online ticket management system that Jim just told us about. You're going to want to check your notification responses before you go to the meeting so that you're very prepared. You don't need to wait until the morning of the meeting. You could go into online ticket management the night before or even the day before that and check to see if you have responses. The responses should be that they're either clear or that they are going to attend the meeting. So here's some other things to think about. It's probably pretty obvious that for your meeting, you want to bring maps and plans. You'll want those sign-in sheets that we showed you are underneath the little circle with the person in it under Coordinate PA. You can download those sign-in sheets in the meeting documentation sheets, but also try to think about other things, the clipboard, pens, business cards. I'm sure you have a traffic cone in the back of your truck or car, but make sure you have all of that. Bring water, bring your PPE, of course. And again, here's the sign-in sheet that you can download, and you're using this to record all the contact information. Make sure that everybody fills this out completely so that when you come back and you may need to add somebody to the contact list. If you're missing some of that information, it's not going to be as simple. So before the meeting, you could put in the date of the meeting, that the notes are being prepared by you or whomever, and you could put your complex project ticket number and then print those out for the meeting. And then again, with the meeting documentation sheets, make sure you fill these out completely because you're not only going to be talking about the project from beginning to end, maybe even up to restoration issues, but you want to talk about the fact that your start date might slip. You want to talk about the fact that you may not be updating tickets, these tickets aren't going to expire unless you need fresh markings. Talk about everything from start to finish. And of importance, if there's something that's not agreed to on that locate schedule, make sure that gets put in the notes as well. Anything that's not agreed to for the locate schedule will need to be put in as routine excavation notices through the Coordinate PA system. So during the meeting, cover all aspects of the project, start to finish, provide maps, drawings, or other information to assist with the project, discuss all types of surveys and permitting, temporary work sites, access roads, construction restoration, anything that pertains to the project, and discuss details for final design permits and right-of-way agreements. The scope of the ticket and the phases of construction will be talked about, because at least one routine notification needs to go in after these meetings. Likely your locate community is going to want more than one, depending on how large your project is. So try to get that hammered out during the meeting. And you should take a walk or drive through the project area, depending on how large it is. If it's an electronic meeting, you can share the plans electronically. So again, one minimum single locate request is going to be required for a project of this size here on the screen. Your locate community may say, well, we want the locates to be street by street. We want you to wait and put a few in each week, or, that's all worked out during the meeting. If you don't show up at the meeting, guess what? You don't have any say. So agree on the scope of the tickets will be left to those parties attending the meeting. So important, after the meeting, you need to upload your sign-in sheets, your meeting documentation, and any maps and plans that you had during the meeting. And here's another thing. Just before I get into this, when you're at the meeting, if you've looked at your meeting responses and some of your facility owners didn't respond correctly, so they didn't put clear or will attend meeting, they might have put field marked. Well, if they put field marked, they still need to come back and respond with a final response, which is 099, that they did attend the meeting. So you might talk about that with them if there's any responses that were not, I guess, final. And if a liaison's there, then they'll be there to assist with that type of information. So if somebody did not go to the meeting, you can file an alleged violation for the companies that didn't respond. And the link to that would be www.pa1call.org/enforcement, or you can go into our website, log in, click on applications, and the alleged violation report is under applications. So for filing an alleged violation report, if you're the excavator or project owner, you have not more than 10 business days. And if you're the designer or facility owner, you have not more than 30 business days. And just a little aside, if you should ever receive a letter from the PUC, Public Utility Commission, telling you to submit a report, please make sure that you do. Here's some extra resources for you. On our website, we have videos. If you go into pa1call.org and scroll to the bottom of the homepage, we have all kinds of videos. And this is a good time to thank our video crew because they do a great job. PA Act 287 as amended is on our website. We also have resources and toolboxes on our website. And again, the liaison list, we can't forget about that.
Thank you, Maria. We got 3 questions during that one. I'm going to handle the first 2, and I'm going to throw the third one to you. The first question we got is, what is the cost for this process? Are there fees associated with this process? Based on when that ticket came in, I believe that they're referring to the pre-construction meeting process with Maria. There are no additional costs involved with placing a complex project and requesting a meeting for that. So there's no additional cost for that through the one-call system. Now, will you internally incur some costs because maybe you'll have to roll a truck out to a construction site? Maybe so, but you're not going to see any extra cost from Pennsylvania One Call for that. If that question is referring to a different part, if you're talking about what Corey was talking about with the work that he does with Sam, we wouldn't be able to answer that. You would have to reach out to him separate of this, and I'm sure he would be happy to have that conversation with you. Another question we got, Is the webinar being recorded for later viewing? Yes. We are recording this webinar, and this is our 6th Liaison Library. The previous 5 are all up on our YouTube channel, and the 6th one will be up on YouTube. I say within a week. I'm personally the one that puts them up. It'll probably be about there. Look for it Monday or Tuesday, but it will be up on our YouTube channel within a week, as are all of the past Liaison libraries and the future Liaison libraries. And Maria, the one that I'm going to throw to you, got a question. Are pre-construction meetings required if utilities should all be not affected or just protected in place? Maria, you're muted.
I never do that. Okay, so pre-construction meetings, when you're putting them into Coordinate PA, there's a button that says, would you like to have a meeting? You have the choice as the excavator to have the meeting or not have the meeting. If you do not have the meeting, there can be a facility owner that might disagree with you. If they do, they can respond 092 that they would like to have a meeting, and then you are required to have a meeting with them. So you do have a choice. We highly recommend at PA One Call that you have the pre-construction meetings. It's all about communicating and coordinating and collaborating. So please try to have the meeting if you can.
And that's a really important point, Maria, is if you're the facility owner and you're receiving this ticket, and on the ticket, the excavator said no meeting required, and it's going to ask you the reason why they think no meeting is required, but you read that ticket and you say, I don't know about this. I want to talk about this a little bit more. The facility owner can always respond 092. That is the facility owner requesting a meeting. Reach out to that excavator, give them a phone call, and have that meeting before that construction date comes up. And I do have one more here. Oh, no, just another question. Is this presentation and recording going to be made available? Yes, it will. It will be on our YouTube. Our YouTube, by the way, is Pennsylvania 811. No spaces in there, just Pennsylvania 811. If you are interested, please consider subscribing to us, because if we get a certain number of subscriptions, then YouTube deems us eligible for a custom URL. So that would be great. If you guys are sitting out there and considering it, please subscribe to Pennsylvania 811 on YouTube. So guys, that was the last thing that we had for Liaison Library. Just a reminder that this recording and all past Liaison Library recordings are available on our YouTube channel, Pennsylvania 811. You can always also reach out to your local damage prevention liaison. We weren't all on screen today, but we are all across the state. We are actually, yep, there it is. We are getting you the information. Take a look at this list here. This has all of the liaisons listed across the state. If you happen to be in that area where it says open, we are currently looking for a damage prevention liaison to cover that area. However, our supervisor, Marcos Bernal, is currently covering it, so you still do have somebody to reach out to. If you ever call your local liaison and they are unavailable for whatever reason, let's say that they're off that day and you need somebody right away, there's no reason you can't call anybody else on that list. We're all working from the same playbook. We will all work our very best to give you all the answers that you need. So with that, I am going to let you get back to your workday. Again, thank you for spending a couple hours with us this morning. Hope you found this useful. I hope you found this effective. Our next Liaison Library is tentatively scheduled for May 4th at 10 a.m. The topic is still to be determined. So if you have any suggestions, if there's information that you'd like to see, please let us know. We're always happy to present that to you. Again, thank you, everybody. Go have a safe day.